Hi, I'm Cassandra from Creative Passages, and I want to show you my art studio. So this is a converted garden shed, and it was pretty junky. I mean, it's not anything fancy. However, it's my studio. It's my first ever art studio. Before I moved to this place 2 years ago, I had a closet and I had a little foldable table. So now I actually have an art room. So I'm super excited about it. It's my space. I'm trying to learn how to work efficiently in the space and how to keep it organized. Organization is not my strong suit. So what you see here today is probably as organized as, it's pretty organized compared to how it might normally be. But I'm not done trying to organize it. There's a lot of things that I still have to figure out how best to display. Like, for instance, that over there, those papers aren't organized at all. Eventually, I want to go through them and put them by paper types. There's a lot, like at the bottom section right there. A lot of those papers are my jelly prints and collage scraps, and so I need to figure out how to organize that better. But let me just kind of show you what I have here so far. And I guess the main point I want to make with this is that work with what you got. You know, don't despise small beginnings. I mean, this may be a humble art room, but it's still my art room. It's still something that I can use. And even if you were like me before and all you got is your kitchen table or a foldable table, it's something. I mean, you work with what you got. Be thankful that you actually have even a little bit. You know, a while ago I started out with like $5 a month budget. Now I've been able to buy, you know, a lot more things. And just know that whatever you have now doesn't mean that you'll always be limited to just that. Okay, so here goes. Here's my art room. Let me put this on pause and then show you. Well, now I can just flip it. There we go. Okay, so we'll start with this right here. This is my little ribbon and material station. So anyway, I have all kinds of ribbons in here, and raffia, and more ribbons, and then materials down in these last 4 bins. This I put together myself. It was very flimsy, and I had to use wood glue to put it together. Over here, well, this thing right here, this is an old kitchen cabinet with a little counter, but it fits my paintings just great right there. And so I have a bunch of paintings, and then we've got a bookcase there, bookcase there, bookcase there. Those are cheap, $37 bookcases. I put them together myself. And this one was leaning. My friend kind of fixed it for me with those brackets there. Okay, over here in this corner is this is recyclable stuff like Amazon wrapping and packaging and little tea boxes and things like that. And then we've got a bunch of ribbon or material scraps right there, and a bunch of box scraps right there. And this is my vision board. Probably can't see it that well. Maybe I'll make another video of that. And then this was a rug here, but it doesn't really fit in my house, but I decided to put it there behind it. You could see that this is kind of old and scrappy, so I'm trying to cover up all the ugly. I've gone through this, but I haven't really figured out how to organize the stuff yet, so I threw away what I don't want to keep, and the rest I still have to figure out how to organize it better. This is magazines at the bottom, tissue paper and different kind of papers, more magazines. This is the journal making box that I take to my workshops, and then everything on the bottom shelf is stuff that I take to the church for my mental health workshops, and so I mainly keep it in the bag unless I need it. Some of the stuff I use for my own personal use. I mean, this is all my art supplies, so I like to have access to it, but keep it in there. It's easy to just get going, and you know, I do it once a month, so it's easy for me there. That's my shelf. I put that together myself as well, and so I love it that those are blank canvases right there. Holds it pretty well. That's my magic art box, which is basically a box I made to store special memories or to feel more safe. It's kind of in rough shape now, but need to go through it and fix it up. Then we've just got all kinds of different things. This is like my card, where I make cards, store cards, materials for card making. Then we got little ribbons here. These are the ribbon scraps that I take to the church with me, because obviously I've got more ribbons over there, so I cut whatever I need from there, put it in this little bin to travel with. And then I've got so many like markers and pens and things like that. Over here is my stamps, and I probably need to figure out a better way to do my stamps. And then we've got these two bins are more paper, and then more tissue paper. And then over here in this area, well, this is where I work. Let me show you this table, and then I'll get back to that. This is my tile table. I got it secondhand from Facebook Marketplace, and I had to put the tiles together myself because they're so heavy. So I finally got that set up. In fact, this entire room was just crowded with stuff. I had to move stuff out of the way, like one by one. Like once I got that first bookshelf up, then I could put stuff in it, free up a little space, then do the next one, because it was completely crowded. So I've gone from a crammed little, junky shed to a space that I can actually work in. Well, anyway, this is usually where I sit and work. I've cleaned it all up. Normally this table right here is scattered with supplies, and I'm trying to figure out how to work more neatly and more efficiently. Usually I'm been making my journal. That's my grief journal. We're doing that right now in my mental health workshops at the church. This is where I keep it in. This is where I store little scraps, not scraps, but like little butterflies and memorabilia that I can put on my journals or special projects. I made this cover myself. So anyway, I actually had to make it to match this because I got this on Temu, and I didn't have a matching cover, so I made one myself. Anyway, take a look at that texture there. I've got my laptop here, which I don't normally have in there, but I realized that I'm not very good at making videos, so I need to do casting. I've had to do research, and if I can cast it onto my laptop, then maybe I could see what I'm doing. This is the scraps that I'm actually using for my journal. The other scraps right here, this is like old art at the bottom there, and any like other paper scraps that I want to use for journal making or art making. And then my stencils over here to the bottom. I'm gonna actually do a collage on the outside of that, just like I did on this box right here. And then I've got washi tape. I've got another thing of washi tape that I take to the church, and then I've just got different things. I'm not going to go through every single thing that I have, but I got jelly plates, I got pan pastels. These are my golden paints. I've got thin tissue paper in here, and then I've got some scraps, nice little scraps for me to, and memorabilia and stickers and ribbons and things like that for my journal. Drying rack over here, my paper cutter. The paper cutter isn't necessarily a good spot because I can't see that well. I was keeping it over there, but then I got too busy, and then I have to walk around the table. I thought here would be better. I've actually got a little light. It's up there. Well, see, look. This is left over from the people who lived here before me. That stuff's too heavy for me to move, so it's gonna have to stay here. Plus, even if I moved it, where would it go? So anyway, Got a drill. So I actually put this little thing up for my, art tools. And I'm trying to like beautify it, but cover up all the ugly. I got this little thing here and those little things there. And then this is my, well, it's not really a vision board, it's my inspiration board. I've got artwork and things like that, and lights, and got like a little Scentsy candle. This is like collage scraps to try to keep in here, and then all the stuff that I want to have easy access to, and not clutter the table with. I try to put here like my brushes. This is stuff for like my jelly printing. And then I actually got this from Timu, and I put it together, that little wooden thing to hold all my markers and pens, the stuff that I normally work with. I've got a whole bunch more. Then this is my AC heat unit, which doesn't work great. It was a $400 machine. The thing's not even staying up, so I have to prop it up there with tape. But it's something. I mean, it cools things off a little bit and heats things up a little bit. Here's the bookshelf. I've got mostly books on this bookshelf. And at the top there are books that I use for my journal making, and then at the top I just have stuff to make it look kind of cute. Same with that up there. And my clock, and that's my ministry license. Then this was a little fruit basket that I got, and I decided to put tissue paper in it. Those are like cords for my phone to charge it, and I can never get the charger to work right, so I have like extras. I bought a special light to help make the lighting better in here for recording. What else? And we got this thing over here, this shelf over here. At the top is a basket full of, well, it's got a empty bag in there, but underneath is magazine scraps that I tried to use Citrusel on. It didn't work. Whoopsie. And then we've got decorative boxes, and I've got my sprays and things right here, and little things like in here is my die cut stuff, which I need to get a better die cut machine. Whoops, I lost one. And this is embossing folders. I've actually got an old Cricut machine, but I need to figure out how to work it. There's such a giant learning curve that I need for all this stuff. Anyway, my daughter just got me this little embossing machine and die cut, but it's really small, so most of those die cuts and embossing folders I have won't fit with it, but I can get really thin special ones for there. And then I've got like little beads and things like that, and buttons and scraps that I would use for decoration, and ink tints and different watercolor pencils and stuff in there. And then this is where I'm going to keep the stuff that I want to try to sell. Like, I'm trying to get stuff organized and separated from everything else, because that's been a hindrance in the past, that I couldn't really find things. So I want to just put it all in there, and then when somebody wants to buy something, I can know exactly where to go to look for it. Soap making stuff at the bottom there. So that is my art room. I didn't really talk about this, but this is just different kinds of paper that I buy, like construction paper, and then I've got fancy mulberry paper and stuff in here, and napkins and stuff in here, and tissue paper in that one, and this one's just mixed media paper, and all kinds of stuff. Most of the bottom is like my own papers. Some fancy papers I made. So more mixed media papers in here. I have to figure out how to better organize it. The bottom I haven't really organized. It's just random stuff, spray paints and things like that, and I've even got stuff underneath the table. Well, anyway, let's take a look at the best part of my room is right there. So yep, I'm just gonna like be quiet for a moment and just kind of pan the room. Oh yeah, my curtains. I bought those special curtains because I like that color. Oh, and my friend, so much for being quiet. My friend got me this little candle right here. Look how well it matches. Yeah. And by the way, those were just little end tables. I used to work on them before I got my table set up. And actually I like how they dip kind of a little bit lower. And I thought that was kind of nice how it worked out. I got these special little carpets too for my, oh, for my art room. Try not to bump into things here. Anyway, okay, let me pan again. Oh yeah, a bunch of stuff there that's not very organized. Remnants of the old garden shed. I have to figure out where to put that stuff. And like up there. Bottom line, work with what you got and make the best of it, and don't let your limitations derail you. Don't let it stop you from doing what you love or what God's called you to do. Just make it work. So bye everybody, be blessed.